Alright, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm working on a Coleman Model 321A lantern, and it's a blue. Blue are pretty rare. They only manufactured it a couple of years, actually 3 years I believe, and this one is a 1976 January. Now look at the condition on this one. The decal is all ruined from the aging and also from some fuel going on it. So I've ordered a brand new decal, and after when we clean this guy all up, we're going to change the decal. So I'm going to peel this decal off. I'm going to wash off all the gooey stuff. And when I bought this had a bad generator that I tried cleaning it, I tried everything, and I was not able to revive the generator. So I purchased a new old stock, tried it out, and this guy lights up beautifully. So there's some old fuel in this, and after I changed the generator, this guy is roaring. So just to show you guys. Alright. The pump is a little bit loose, or it's not really grabbing onto the wall, so we're going to take that apart to see what it is. But I just want to show you guys that it lights. You hear the sputtering. This guy lights up with the new generator. So we're gonna clean this guy up and make it look pretty. Okay, so first thing is we're going to check out the pump cap. Let's see what kind of pump cap does this guy come with. A leather or a neoprene. So this guy pulls it out from here, and this seems like it's a little stuck here. So here we go. And it's a leather cap. Leather caps are great because these are recoverable. So I have neat's foot oil that I'm going to plan to soak this in for about 24 hours to get this leather pump all softened and get it ready back. Next, I'm going to remove the top. I'm going to give this guy a wash. Try to be careful not to scratch up the paint, because this topper is pretty nice. Little bit of rust where the hole is, but other than that, this guy's in great shape. This glass too. Glass is a number 4. This is a number 4 globe. Coleman, made in USA. And we're going to clean this guy up too. So, just putting it behind the sink. And so like I said, this is a brand new generator, and this guy came with a little sparky. So the sparky is supposed to push up, give it a spark, and supposed to light your lantern. So the flint and everything's probably worn out. So I have flint if I want to use this guy back here. So I'm also going to remove the burner assembly. And I want to get down to the font so I could spend some time peeling off that decal. So this is the one bolt that holds down the whole entire assembly, and this whole assembly comes right off. There we go. Like this. It's a little hot, that's why I'm using a cloth to hold it. So I'm going to release the air pressure, and we're going to get down to the font. Once we get down to the font, and I could concentrate on peeling off that decal, because I got a new one. So this is again Coleman Model 321A, and it's a color blue. Alright. Shape wise is not bad. There's a little bit of paint chip over here right underneath the collar. And there's one flathead screw that holds that down. So when you take them all apart, I'm going to try to, there's some old fuel in here, and I'm just going to put that back on, because if not, I'm going to start spilling this all over the place. I got to get my floss to try and throw out the fuel. The first thing I want to work on is peeling off this decal, and at the same time try to preserve the paint. This is probably a really old decal that's been on this lantern for a long time. So I'm going to try to peel that decal off and clean this guy up. So we're going to remove the generator first. Like I said, this is a brand new generator. I bought off another Coleman collector. He had a new all stock, and I hate to take another generator from a working lantern just to save one. So you're going to sacrifice one lantern to save another. Really don't like doing that, so glad I was able to find a spare, and this is how it looks like. Alright, so let me concentrate on removing the decal, and then inside here there is one O-ring, and I'm going to try to replace that as well too. So as I'm peeling the decal, I'm squirting some 99% rubbing alcohol on it, so it peels off nicer. So as you peel, the rubbing alcohol will seep into the new opening and it'll come out nicely. So there you have it. My decal, the old decal, has been successfully removed. Next step is to clean this guy up and get it ready. Okay, so after cleaning off the decal, washed up all the grims and grime and everything, so this font is give it a really light sand down of any of the stuff that was stuck to it. So next we're gonna take this off so we could work on it and make sure everything's cleaned out. So there was a seal there, but give it a little crack on it, and this is going to come out now. We're going to clean it all up. Let's see how the pickup tube is. So there's the pickup tube. So we're going to clean this off. Clean anything that is stuck on it off. There is one O-ring in here that we're going to take apart and clean as well. So put this on the side. We're going to take this apart. There's a little notch here that holds on to the knob. Give that a lift. Take this out. Looks like let's see if we can take this out. There we go. This piece looks like this. And to take this part off, I believe I have to remove this bolt. This is not even in tight. Alright. So we're going to be very careful in removing this so we know how it goes back in. So I can feel it coming out now. Okay, so we got this piece out, and there is a O-ring here, and now this eccentric block's gonna be loose, so we're gonna clean this up as well too, and here we go. Okay, so got the eccentric blocks out, and I was able to remove the orifice. So we're gonna boil this in citric acid, try to get it as clean as possible before assembling everything back together. So be right back, and we're gonna go boil this. Alright, so I'm using my Coleman 508 that I fixed up last time. It's got a lot of power, and I am boiling my parts in citric acid right now. So let's see how that turns out. So after I boiled all the brass item, right now I'm boiling the burner assembly and all the metal. So I want to keep those apart, or else they're going to turn pink. Let's see how it turns out. But this low stovey is very powerful. So here we have it. This is after boiling this in citric acid, and I gave it a quick polish with 000 steel wool, and this is the outcome. So I've taken out the old O-ring. This is O-ring number 9, and I have put a new one in there. This is a 30-plus-year-old lantern, so this O-ring, while I have it apart already, we're going to install a new one. So we're going to put all this back together, and to do so is you got to put the 2 eccentric block in here, and we're going to insert this pin in between these 2 eccentric block. Okay, so got the eccentric block in, and got it right in the position. So when you turn it, it goes up and down, but when you put the orifice back in there, it should do 2 things. So let's do this again. So this is the hard part. This piece needs to go in there flat like this. So there we go. Not sure if you can see that. So it's the end flat, and see this orifice. So this one needs a seal in as well too. So we're gonna put the Permatex to seal that up, because when I cracked this open, it had a seal on it as well too. So, but just for testing purposes, we're gonna put this back in like this, and we're gonna test it out. So you see this notch right here? You see this slot right here? This is where when the valve is on the closed position, and when it's in the closed position, you see over here, no pin. Now when you turn this to this position, you see how it lifts up, and that is, if we look at this, that's the cleaning part. This is where it pushes the needle. This is where it pushes the needle up, and it cleans your generator tip. And then when you turn it this side, it's on the light position. When it's on the light position, it will start to let out some gas. And if you look at the point now, you see there's a little piece of pin that is sticking out. and that is in the light position. If you look at that notch right there, that notch is gonna say light, and this is where your liquid gas is not fully, but is traveling up that tube. That's where you light it. And then once it's light and the generator is warmed up, you will move it to the run position. And when you're in the run position, we're going to turn it all the way, and it's locked in, you see? See that notch over here? I can't turn it anymore. Before I put the orifice on, I could spin this 360, but now it goes there and it's locked. And now if we look at the orifice, you see? That pin is fully pushed out, means that the liquid gas is fully open, traveling up this tube, going up to the generator. All right. So we're going to put some seal in, and we're going to seal this up. Okay, so we finally got it in, and we got it to the point that before it was making a clicking sound. So always have to insert it when it has to turn all the way down for the opening position. For the opening position, then you got to turn all the way back. Okay, so now we're ready for the seal. So I didn't tighten this part yet, but I just locked this to keep this in there. So I'm just going to add some Permatex. Which is this guy. And we're going to let it dry. So we're going to unscrew this back. And then let me put on my gloves. So we're just going to add a little bit. That's all you need. Just a thin layer, just right across it. Okay, I think it's a little too much, but you don't want to get any in the areas that you just cleaned, and it'll be counterproductive. So you want to get it out as much as possible. Just leave enough in the thread so when it tightens, it will harden. There we go. Very thin layer. Remove my gloves. We're just going to clean off the excessive ones just on the side. You don't want to get this in the tank. Or don't want to get this anywhere near the pickup orifice on the bottom. Just on the thread. There we go. So we're just going to go slow first. So I could feel the thread is, so now, there we go. And again, just a snug fit, not too tight. So I'm just going to clamp onto here. So let's close up. That's it. All right, so we got the Permatex on and we got it to the right position. So when you turn it here, this is the cleaning, this is the light, and this is the on. All right, so ready to, next step is we're going to be cleaning the check valve. So I put this pump back in there because I was just doing a test, pressure test. Okay, so earlier we threw out all the fuel, or not throw out, but removed all the fuel, and we are going to take out the check valve. And I'm going to clean this up a little bit because every time this gets stuck, it's going to ruin my blue paint here. So the pump cap, I soaked it in neat's foot oil for about 48 hours and is really good. And there we go. This is where the check valve is. I'm gonna take it out and clean it. So to do the check valve, I have a check valve tool, which I bought earlier, and this is a really cool tool because if you're in this hobby and you want to safely remove your check valve without damaging it, this is the tool you need. So here we go. So we're going to let the Permatex dry on the orifice, and once that is completely dried, then we're going to do another pressure test. And pressure test, because when it's not dry, I could hear there's a leaking, hissing sound. So I want to leave that, let it dry before installing it back. We're just removing the check valve stem. Give that a wipe. At the same time, when I'm giving it a wipe, I want to see what thread is this. So this looks like it's a big thread. So when this is a big thread, right here, we're gonna have to use this one. And first of all, we're gonna put this in there. See if we could bite onto the check valve. There we go. This is a good fit. So then we're gonna choose which stem is gonna go in there. So I think it's gonna be the thicker one. So we're gonna have a look, see if it's the thicker one. If it's the thicker one, then we're gonna just tighten it. Yep, it is the thicker one. So it's tightening onto that. We're going to put the protective ring on, and we're going to put the wing nut on. After we tighten it, we're going to use our wrench, and we're going seal. Usually it's been in there for so long. Okay, it's really tight. There we go. I heard that come out. And the wrench didn't damage any of the paint. Okay, so here we have it. This is the check valve. If you guys have a closer look. This check valve is full of gunk. And I should have boiled this in citric acid as well too. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to boil it in citric acid. And I also got a new tool. I got a endoscope. And we're going to use this. And we're going to look inside the fond. I'm going to use this to look inside the font to see if there's any rust inside. And I'll try to capture some footage and include it in my video. Alright, so the next step is we're going to boil this in citric acid. After that, this should be dry. And we're going to assemble everything back together, put my new decal, and we should be able to fire it up for a run. Stay tuned.